Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So there's a new video about a product that Evike.com just dropped. This says the best gas blowback Glocks yet, question mark, with like an emoji thinking kind of thing. Elite Force X Gen 5 MOS Glock 17 and Glock 19. So I think it's their like introductory video of like, wow, these are coming out now and we're testing them and kind of showing you what they are. I've actually wished that they've done this for a long time. Basically these X Elite Force Glocks are built by VFC. And I like the Gen 5 Glock. Like the Gen 5 Glock is the one with the actual grip on it, which is just straight. There's no like finger grooves in it at all. And so I've always liked that. Well, I haven't actually. I used to like the Gen 3, and then I kind of like discovered that the Gen 5 for me actually felt a lot better. So what I actually have is I've got two of them. Two which I've done quite heavy work to in the past. And you may see on both of these, something that I've done to them is put red dot sights on them. And so for that, you need basically an RMR plate or the equivalent. And that is what this Gen 5 MOS is going to come with. So basically, instead of me having to, I'll run you through this one. On this, I actually bought a Boom Arms slide, which is an aftermarket slide. This slide was about like $200. So you're paying like $170 for the actual Glock 45, which is this one, Gen 5 Glock 45. I bought a completely different slide. I've then put a Trigicon a Trigicon SRO on top of it. I've changed out the trigger. I've done a TLR8G Streamlight light on there, and then I've put some Talon grips on here. And I love these things, so I definitely don't need to buy another one. But the fact that you can now buy them and it will come with the option to put a red dot sight on it, I think is big. The other one that I've done is this one, which actually is a Elite Force Glock 17. And with the 17, what I've ended up doing is changing out this for a Glock 34 slide, this Taran Tactical one here. I put a CV Life red dot on it because this Taran Tactical one comes with that RMR slide cut. And then I've got a Vitatu light on the front here. I've got a extended magazine base plate that I put onto the regular mag. I've changed out this for a 4 Quantum, whatever they're called, 4 UAD trigger. And I love this thing as well. And of course, I've always done my standard Talon grips on here as well. But the main reason that I wanted to do these was because of this RMR option where I can put a plate on there or I can just direct mount an actual red dot on here. So I'm quite excited to see what these are like, see if they've made any other changes, because I think they're generally just they're the best kind of like Glocks, I would say, that you can get airsoft wise. I think they're pretty well priced where they are. You could go for a GHK Glock, but you're paying like $300 as opposed to $170. And I think they're really good. So if they've upgraded anything else other than the slide, I'm excited to hear. So let's see what Matt from Evike has got to say about these ones. So it's definitely mounted that red dot on there. Looks like he's done some Evike branded EMG one. He's actually got the TLR8G Streamlight on here as well. Or AG, sorry. I love this this actual
What's up, Airsofters? If
sight.
you've been looking to bring your sidearm game into the modern era, today's feature is going to hit just right. We're taking a look at not one, but two iterations of some of the most versatile gas blowback pistols in the Elite Force lineup. The Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS and the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. These aren't your typical run-of-the-mill
So
Glocks.
like,
Both
I think I way
licensed
prefer
by Glock.
a Glock 17. I know probably the Glock 19 is more popular in airsoft, but for me it's just a little bit too short in the hand. That's why actually I love this, because this 45, which hopefully they do an MOS version of this, but this basically has the 19th barrel length with the 17 length actual grip. So you kind of get best of both worlds in my opinion. So my actual favorite Glock is this, the 45. So it sounds like they're doing a 17 and a 19, but doesn't sound like there's a 45 on the horizon yet.
Modeled after the real Gen 5 series, and they're built with the
matching
modular
trades
optic systems that let you run red dots with
serial
ease.
numbers.
Whether you're a diehard fan of the full-size G17 or you prefer the compact footprint of the 19, these MOS variants
mixture
give
both
you
of the
modern
45.
customization right out of the box, and they don't compromise when it comes to performance either. Now, let's dig right in and see why these pistols might just be the smartest upgrade you can make to your airsoft kit. At first glance, these Gen 5 MOS pistols carry all of the design cues that you'd expect from a Glock. Clean lines, no...
You can see there, did you see there where they've taken the
carry all of the design cues
orange
that you'd expect from...
See there at the end of the barrel there? So they've obviously removed the orange tip, even though they legally have to sell it with them. Because you can see like the residue on the end of that barrel there. There can be an absolute nightmare to get off. If you don't believe me, go and watch one of my videos where I try and do it on the VFC SIG P320, and it is just me melting plastic for about 10 minutes.
Glock. Clean lines, no nonsense ergonomics, and a form factor that's been battle tested across the world and tuned by every
Glocks are pretty
Glock
great
YouTuber on the planet. But dig a little deeper, and there's a lot more going on here. Both the Glock 17 and 19 Gen 5 MOS replicas feature full metal slides with deep, crisp serrations.
That's the same as it is now,
making press checks and slide manipulation feel smooth and tactile. The frames are high-strength polymer, just like the real thing, which keeps weight down while delivering that authentic Glock feel in hand.
They do feel real.
Really differentiate themselves from other models in the Elite Force lineup is the MOS, or Modular Optic System, cut on the slide. They come with 4 adapter plates right in the box, and it's worth noting
so it comes with the adapter plates
in the Elite Force lineup that have these straight out of the box, and they support Dr. Trijicon, Seymour, and Leupold style footprints. That means you've got plug-and-play compatibility with a wide range of miniature red dot sights.
Yeah, because having to buy the plates afterwards that will fit the airsoft versions can be a bit of a nightmare.
This G19 with a sleek primary arms SLX, which is on the MOS plate number 1. And the G17 sports a slightly larger EMG Raid red dot mounted to the RMR pattern.
Don't like that one as much.
2. Additionally, these SRC-based Elite Force Glocks are the only models to finally include 14mm threaded orange tips right out of the box. Hit me. Like so. And thanks to a barrel specifically designed for compatible...
Hold on, threaded orange tip. So you've got to keep the actual orange tip on it if you want to thread a suppressor to it, like you can see there in the picture. So basically that piece of plastic that they're attaching to the end will have a thread on it as opposed to not having a thread. And I mean, it wouldn't matter a lot if you're running a suppressor and you can't see the orange, but it seems like even with that suppressor on, you can very clearly see there's like an orange line right there.
Ability with pistol tracer units, your dreams of out-of-the-box easy tracer unit installation and use have finally come
But you're going to want to get rid of that.
It's worth pointing out that we removed them for this video on these.
Yes, exactly, because they look dumb.
Because they look super sweet that way. Moving down to the frames, the Gen 5 frame design here is in full force as well.
I mean, it's good they do it as opposed to a standard orange, but
which means more comfort for a wider range of hand sizes. The magazine release is enlarged and reversible, and the slide stop lever is ambidextrous, making this a great pick for both left and right-handed shooters. And speaking of differences, the G17 is your full-size service pistol, offering you a longer sight radius and a larger grip.
Yeah, the Gen 5s are all like that.
On the other hand, brings all the same features to a more compact form, ideal for players running tight gear setups or wanting a backup that won't weigh down their belt line, and for shooters with smaller hands. Both pistols include realistic Glock trademarks, deeply engraved and licensed officially, so you're not
they
just
do a good
holding
job, Elite Force.
Look-alike, you're running a real replica, which is kind of a double real replica. I guess that's an opposite.
Contradiction.
And just as you'd expect, you've got your standard Glock style frame rails right up here for mounting lasers, lights, and anything else that fits on that same group.
So anyone who's actually asked me, and I get quite a lot of like comments on this, is like, what gas blowback pistol would you buy? Generally, like I'll say Elite Force Glock, and for me it's the 45, but I think whatever one you go for is great. What I do like with this is you don't necessarily have to do anything with that RMR footprint. You could just leave the like cover plate on there. So I would always pick this one over going with the standard one. I don't know what the price difference is going to be, but I would say pick this one for sure, because it gives you that option to put the red dot on afterwards, and you don't have to do it, or you could end up doing it later. But it doesn't sound like they've done anything different other than
pattern. Let's talk
that plate.
Internals and performance and functionality. Under the hood, these Gen 5 Glocks are powered by an SRC-designed gas blowback system and come out of the box with a CO2 magazine for snappy, reliable performance.
That's different.
The system is compatible with existing Elite Force VFC-style
Green
Glock
gas
mags, and really the way to tell is by that packing at the top. So if you've already got a collection,
so there's
you're
like
good
a
to go.
little...
It's also worth noting that the AWE style mags with the different packing and slightly different shape aren't really supported here. But if it's...
So there, like what he's meaning there is where that gas router is there. So if I can show it to you here. Where that gas router is there, that is kind of like curved. You may be able to see there's almost like a little curve in it. Whereas a lot of the other ones just have a straight, like it's just a flat top to it. Apparently that makes the seal on these a lot better. So I've run AAPO1 mags in my Glocks before, and they're a lot cheaper and they just don't work as well, like the actual like feel of them. So I presume that's what he's saying there is like your standard green gas mags will fit, but if you're going for like your WE, like cheaper version mags, they're not going to work as well, but they probably will work. Yeah, I love it. Give you a little, just make sure I got nothing in this. Yeah, so this is the, that's kind of what it's like with that. Weirdly, actually, I think this one, which is the, okay, this is loaded, so I'm not going to do anything with that. But this one, because the actual slide's heavier, it actually gives more kick than the Glock 45 or something with an aluminium slide. That's just got a lot more mass to it, so the actual recoil on it is really good.
Provided by CO2, not just a temperature thing, although these are great in other temperature environments. And to make
I don't know if
Glocks
these ones can
true
take
MOS
CO2,
ready,
so that might be an
Elite Force
upgrade.
worked closely with Glock themselves to redesign the gas blowback
They're
housing
licensed
from the ground up, creating enough internal clearance for proper optic mounting and sight alignment, just like the real thing. Now that required shortening of the overall height of the internal nozzle assembly to accommodate that lower
so this might be their
optic
different
plate, while elongating it slightly to maintain reliable cycling and gas efficiency. The result is a gas system that not only looks authentic, but performs consistently, even with the added complexity of a slide
and the added
cut
weight.
for optics. Briefly moving on to
Well, I
controls,
haven't had an issue with mine.
standard here. I do like the ambidextrous slide lock, slide release, and the trigger pull is exactly what you'd expect out of a gas blowback pistol of this quality.
Yeah,
There's
which
a clear
I've
wall,
changed.
a clean brake, and a short
It's a
positive
Glock
reset
trigger.
that makes follow-up shots feel intuitive and fast. There's no spongy, vague feedback, just direct mechanical motion. The slide lock is functional and consistent, and when the last round leaves the magazine, or rather,
Slide
leaves
lock.
the inner barrel, when it leaves the magazine, there'll still be one in the chamber. Like I said, so when the last round leaves the barrel, it locks back, giving you the same tactile cue as a real steel version when it locks back. Perfect for realism and building muscle memory, and for those who like to run reload drills or incorporate pistols into their milsim or training setups, the
CO2
manual arms
cartridges.
on these Glocks mirrors the real Glock platform closely enough to make them a solid training tool. On the airsoft side, the hop-up is adjustable, allowing you to dial in that BB trajectory based on weight or field conditions or personal preference, and it's tucked beneath the outer barrel and is easily accessed once the slide is removed. Speaking about gas efficiency, it's really solid as well. In moderate temps, you're looking at about 2 to 3 full magazines per CO2 cartridge, depending on
that's not too
how
bad.
aggressive you're cycling and how...
Like that's my main issue with CO2 pistols is not knowing how much gas I've got left in it. It's kind of like with my green gas, I can finish the actual game, go back to the safe zone, and all I really need to do is just stick the green gas can in there, top it up a bit, and I'm good to go. With those CO2 capsules, like once you remove it, all the gas is gone. So you can't exactly, I mean, you could like just change CO2 capsules every single time, but it's going to get expensive to do that and unnecessary. So for me, like it's, you can get too much power. That's the other side of it. But for me, the CO2 is just like, it's an unknown of like, oh, how many times have I gone through a mag on this? Oh, but if you can do 2 or 3, that does make it better for sure.
Warm the conditions are. Let's talk performance. On the field, the Elite Force Humor X Glock 17 and 19 Gen 5 MOS pistols pistols deliver the kind of performance you'd expect from a licensed sidearm made in conjunction with Glock themselves. Both pistols shoot under 350 FPS with .20 gram BBs,
Even with
making them
CO2?
CQB friendly while still maintaining effective range and impact in outdoor environments. And where these pistols really shine is their responsiveness and shot recovery. The blowback cycle is tight and quick, snappy, which means faster follow-up shots that don't require you to fight the recoil or wait for sluggish resets, but that is snappy enough that it doesn't make you feel like this is some weird facsimile of a training tool. It's snappy in a way that is rewarding and feels realistic. Now, in-game, the G17 offers a slightly longer sight radius, which can lend itself to more stable aimed shots, especially when running optics. But when it comes to gas capacity, both pistols are actually on an equal footing, and that's because the G19 comes with a standard magazine that features a mock extended baseplate, meaning that it houses the same 12 gram CO2 cartridge and internal
So you
reservoir
can't run a
as
shorter
the
mag on it?
G17's mag. In fact, they hold about the same amount of BBs too. So whether you're running a full-size or compact model, you're actually getting comparable shot count per fill. It really comes down to preference.
Then it's not that
G19
compact
is
in terms of the
lighter and
actual,
more
like,
compact, ideal for plate carrier
grip.
setups or high mobility play, while the G17 feels a little more like a fuller grip with the longer slide for smoother tracking. Let's get into some final thoughts. Now, whether you are a dedicated Glock fan or you're just in the market for a dependable, well-built sidearm, the Elite Force Humorex Glock 17 and 19 Gen 5 MOS gas blowback pistols are an easy recommendation. You're getting fully licensed externals that feel as premium as they look, backed by a gas system that delivers consistent, realistic performance shot after shot. Now, both models give you a ton of versatility in the field, whether that's running a G17 as a competition-style pistol with an extended magazine and optic, or carrying the G19 in a minimalist setup that won't weigh you down during aggressive CQB games. You've got options here, and they're both legit. Now, as always, you can grab these models and everything else you need to round out your kit right here at Evike.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the field.
All right, guys. So basically from that video, I've kind of like, what it sounds like to me is that basically it's the same as my Glocks, you know, the standard Glock Gen 5 from Elite Force that's been around for a while now. Obviously then the slide is different. So it's got that slide plate, which I think now, if I was going to buy one, I would just go with the MOS version because I don't know why you wouldn't. The other thing it sounds like is that potentially they've reworked the internals. However, like in terms of like the size of the nozzle being like shorter and longer. I don't know if he's meaning that just generally or if he's meaning that specifically to this, because this actual outer barrel, it came with an inner barrel and an outer barrel, and I just took the stock internals of the upper internals that were inside the slide from a regular Gen 5, put it in there, and it seemed to work. There's no like catches or issues. So maybe they've just redesigned it in a certain way. This actually came with like Glock 45 trades on it and matching serial numbers, but obviously if you're getting something like this, that's not going to be the case. Like this is a TTI kind of thing, and if you're just changing the slide but not the outer barrel, that's going to like, you know, it's not going to be the same numbers obviously on that, because you're going to be taking the original outer barrel and then putting a different slide on it. So it is kind of cool it comes like that. I'm quite weirded out that it comes with a CO2 mag, because I like running green gas and most people run green gas in their pistols. There's definitely like, if I'm going and I'm doing a chrono at a field, a lot of the time people will say, oh, are you running a CO2 pistol? Because they'll want to chronograph that. If it's a green gas pistol, they're like, okay, that's fine. Like it's going to be below the limit, so we're happy with you using that at close ranges. CO2 pistols can fire really hot. And so he's saying it's below 350 FPS. I think that's good if they're saying that, and obviously I would probably test it, but the fact that it comes with that's weird. The other thing that I think is weird is the Glock 19, which is the compact version with a shorter barrel length and a shorter grip, is coming with an extended mag so that it can fit that 12 gram CO2 cartridge into it. That to me kind of like defeats the point. I presume if he's saying that it will take regular mags, that you could just run a standard Glock 19 like shorter mag in there. To give you an idea, I've actually got a Glock 19 mag here so you can see it. That's the Glock 17 mag, or the full size. That is the Glock 19 mag. And so obviously we don't have an extended base plate, but with that base plate, it's going to be the same length. I don't need to fit a CO2 capsule in here. So I presume if you're running the green gas mags, you could just take that and then it would be short like a Glock 19 would be. So that's a little bit weird to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe they sell like a non-CO2 version and we should go check that out. In fact, let's go to the Evike website right now and just see if we can buy one. If you are interested in buying it, I do have a referral link for Evike and I'll put it in the description below. So instead of doing what I'm doing right now, it'd be really great if you could just click through that link because it's going to cost you the same and it will benefit me and the channel. We're going to go with Glock 17 MOS. Okay, so there's a CO2 version. I don't think there's a green gas. And the cost of it, $120. Oh, CO2 powered half blowback. Let's just see. Gen 5. Because he didn't say that one was a half blowback, did he? In that video, sorry. Gen 5 MOS. Elite Force CO2 half blowback. CO2 powered 0.177, no. 0.177, no. CO2 blowback airsoft pistol. Okay, so it's 180. So you can get them here, $180 for both of them, which is kind of, you know, SRC I don't think are the ones that do the one that I've got. So you can see here, it's got the plate on the top there. Obviously, this is the nozzle that it's the threads that it's talking about. Again, I think that is really pointless for most people. I mean, if you have a suppressor that's going to cover that, but it looks like this little ring here, that's not really going to help for most people. And then, like, I'll show you my, let's just do Glock 17. Let's see a standard Elite Force one. Glock 17, no. Okay, so it's the same price. So this is the green gas here, $180. So yeah, I would just go with the MOS one and then buy the mags for, that's not the right mag. You want to buy the mags for this, and I think they're about $45 a mag to buy just green gas mags, but this is my 45. So that's kind of like a combo of the two. Obviously, you don't have the option here to put that slide on, to put that that thing on the top being this red dot sight. And obviously then it doesn't have this, like, you know, threading on the orange tip, which again, I think is really dumb. But then an Elite Force Glock mag. Let's see what the price is on that. I'll try and put links to all of these below, guys, so you can get to them. Elite Force Glock mag. Spartan ones aren't the ones you want. You want actual Elite Force ones because you'll probably get confused by these. Yeah, $60. That's a Gen 3 one there. So no, sorry, that's a CO. That's a thing. So it's $60. $59.95. That's a GHK. Wrong. Sorry, I'm getting the GHK mags are more expensive, so that is completely wrong. An Elite Force Glock 19 mag is $50, and then if they got the 17s here. See if they have that option. Okay, so this would be like the smaller one. I think it's exactly the same price. So it's $50 for a mag, which is expensive. So you could basically buy that Glock 19 for what, like $179, $180, and then you're spending $50 for a mag. Like you're looking at $230 for basically a Glock 19 with an extra magazine, CO2, and a green gas. Okay, guys, so I hope that was interesting. I found that pretty interesting as well. Well, I found that pretty interesting just to kind of look at it and see what the differences are. I'll be looking into more if like that actual like upper system is in the slide is that much different. It'd be kind of good to do maybe like buy one of those and do a comparison test, but I don't actually have any stock Glocks anymore because I've done so much work to them. If you want to check out those videos as well, they'll be on the channel, so you can go and have a look at like what I've done to kind of build these two Glocks here and maybe get some inspiration for what you want to do. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will see you very soon on the next video. Goodbye.